today is 2/2/2022, the day that the Washington football team died and the Washington Commanders have been born. So before I talk about this, I should preface this by saying I am a Browns fan. So if you're a Washington fan watching this, I'm talking about this from my perspective. Now, the Browns went through a uniform redo what's it been, 2 seasons ago now? And then of course there was the one in 2015 as well. So I understand where a lot of you are coming from in terms of expectations and what you were hoping for and being disappointed, or if you were, over happy about it and it was perfect to you. I understand where you guys are coming from. So before we get into the logos and the uniforms, the name Washington Commanders, I don't mind at all. I think it's really good compared to some of the other options they had. Washington Commanders to me is way better than the Washington Presidents or the Washington Admirals. I'm not saying it's perfect by any means, but I like it a lot. I think it sounds like an NFL team to me, and that's kind of what I was hoping for. The Red Wolves to me is better, but if you can't have that, the Washington Commanders, it works. I think it's all right. So let's get into the logo. So they have a couple of different logos. The W it's a little bland, but it's nice. I like it. It's clean, it's crisp, it's simple. It'll look bland on a t-shirt, but on the helmet looks fantastic, or at least on one of the helmets. I'll talk about the other. But I like the W. It's all right. It's not perfect. It's not over the top. But as far as a new logo, it's simple, clean, like it. The circle logo, which is kind of like a badge or whatever you want to call it. I don't know the proper term or word for it. It's all right. It's kind of cool. It's a little bit different. I think it's a really good logo to have for like merch purposes. I believe they have it on one of the uniforms. I'd have to double check, but I like it a lot. I think it looks pretty simple, pretty good. I know there were some people complaining about the years they had on it because I believe it is basically like the Super Bowl years and stuff like that. So again, I'm not a Washington fan. I can't get into all the nitpicky things on that side of things, I should say. I'm just telling you based on how it looks to me. I like how it looks. And then the Commander logo itself. I don't know. It's literally just the word Commanders with a yellow line above and below it. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think they could have done a better job with it, but it is what it is. It's not terrible. It's not great, but oh well. So in terms of logos, I think they did a solid job. The only one I don't really like is what I just talked about with the Commanders itself. Not a huge fan of that, but if I had to give it a grade out of 10 on logos, I would say a 6.5, 7 maybe. It's solid. It gets the job done. So let's get into the actual uniforms itself. So I love talking about uniforms. Like I said, the Browns have had a couple new uniforms, and as I said earlier, I understand, expectations versus what you get, that side of things. So I don't know what Washington fans were really hoping for. But in terms of the uniforms itself, I'll start off with the one that I like the most and then end with the one I hate the most. So my favorite of these three that I think is a 10 out of 10 home run is the white uniform. So what I love the most about this whole rebrand is this helmet. This matte cherry red, whatever you want to call it, with the yellow stripe down the middle and the new W logo on the side, I think is spectacular. It's clean. It's awesome. I love it. So if I was a Washington fan, I would be pumped that that's our helmets. I love that. And in this picture, Chase Young has a visor on, and it makes it look that much better. So the helmet I love. The jersey itself, I've heard a lot of people hate on it. I really like it a lot. I think it's clean. It's got a nice modern touch to it. I understand a lot of fans wanted a more classic look, but in terms of being modern but not overdoing it, I think they did a good job. The gradient inside the numbers and on the sleeves, I don't think they overdid it. I think they did it perfect. I like it. It's clean. It's my favorite one. I would give these really a 9.5 out of 10. I like them that much. So I'm hoping they wear these the most because I just love them. You know, if I was a Washington fan, this would be the jersey that I would buy. So that's my favorite. Moving on, the next one is the home uniform. It is the all red, or at least on the screen that I'm seeing. Terry McLaurin's modeling this one. Again, the helmet, fantastic. The jersey is interesting. I really like the sleeves. You got the yellow stripes with the white stripe in the middle, Nike logo on the side. That looks good. I like the numbers. I think the numbers are solid. Again, the gradient inside the numbers, not too bad. In the leaked pictures, I thought it was going to be bad. But looking at it from this point of view, I think it looks good. What I don't like about this jersey is the big Commanders logo on the chest. When the Browns came out in 2015 with the new uniforms and the big Cleveland was written across the chest, I hated that. I thought it looked ridiculous. It's just too loud. Now, I don't think this is really as bad, I guess, but I don't like it. I wish that they would have made it a lot smaller, or just not had it at all. If you didn't have that and you had the 17 moved up, to me it would be really clean. I think it would be just about as good as you can get in terms of having a new, modern, clean uniform. So the Commanders logo on the chest really knocks them off a few points for me, but it's not terrible. It is what it is. It's all right. I would give this probably a 7 out of 10. Like I said, gets the job done, but it could have been better. The one that I absolutely can't stand and hate with a passion, the all-black uniform for the Commanders is hot garbage. If I was on the team for this rebranding and somebody brought this to me, I would say fire them and throw it in the garbage. Now, the jersey is something different, but my main problem is this helmet. What were they thinking when they thought this was a good idea? Seriously, the W is just right in the middle of your forehead. Come on. Like, it's almost comical. It looks like a 12-year-old was like, hey, I'm going to make a new helmet. And it was like, all right, this is the logo right in the middle of the head. It makes no sense to me. It looks horrible. It looks terrible on the players. I don't like it at all. I hate it. The helmet is this black helmet with the W is the worst thing about this entire rebranding. It sucks. The jersey itself, it is what it is. It's not, I don't like it. And it's not that they have an all-black uniform. I think it's a good idea to have an all-black uniform. But it looks like they tried to rip off the Steelers, in my opinion. I just don't like it. They have the Commanders logo kind of off to the side on the chest, up by the shoulder. That's fine. I don't care about that placement. It looks fine. The sleeves has got the patch logo like I talked about with a Nike swoosh up top, yellow. Like that. The numbers, though, I do not like. I don't like the numbers on this. I think the design of the first two are better. I just don't like it. It just does not look good. Maybe it'll look better on the field. I don't think the jersey is awful, but the helmet ruins it for me. That's if I'm being honest. Now, the helmet does have numbers on it, too, if you want to factor that in. But in terms of these uniforms as a whole, I'd give them maybe a 6.5. The black uniform, it just ruins it for me. Just ruins it for me. I understand it's an alternate. I hope they don't wear them often. That's all I'll say. So, Washington fans, I understand if some of you are upset, whatever, you want a more traditional look, but I think these are clean for the most part, and I think they'll really grow on you as time goes on, but it is what it is. So with that being said, Washington is now the Washington Commanders. New uniforms, new logos, new branding. They need a new stadium desperately. So, but with that being said, if you enjoy the content, feel free to donate and support the channel if you would like to. If not, completely fine, whatever. But if you do, let me know. Give me suggestions on videos, and I will do my best to talk about those. But let me know in the comments, do you like these? What'd you think? So anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.